Did you ever notice how some men can just walk into a room and capture all the attention effortlessly? Yet they're not even the best looking or richest, and women are still drawn to them like gravity. The beauty is that that's not luck, it's magnetism. And magnetism is something you can reverse engineer. Today we're going to unpack 6 research-based ways, which are also based on my experience, that make men romantically magnetic. These traits are traits that any man can use to elevate not just his dating life, but also your entire social presence. Because it's just psychology, practical action, and presence translated into actionable ways. Let's get right into it. First of all, it's quite scary to communicate with a woman. At least it was for me back in the day. You know, I was shy, I didn't know how to do it, and that led to me thinking about me. How do I look? How do I act? Am I saying the right thing? Do I seem confident? But this inward focus kills your presence. The first part of magnetism is all about shifting your focus outward. And the beauty of doing so is that when you stop worrying about how you come off by shifting your focus outward, you make her feel seen. Because it's not about how you come off, it's about how you make others feel. You know, Jordan Peterson himself said, when you aim your attention outward and really listen, show interest, ask thoughtful questions, you stop being self-conscious. And I found this out myself in practice. It is true. Because you're no longer in your own head. You're in theirs. And that's a psychological switch. Because instead of trying to impress, you're aiming to connect. Which is the true foundation of charisma. You know? So on your next date or social setting, make it your mission to make the other person feel seen. Don't perform, don't posture, just show real interest. Because it's incredibly rare these days for people to show that interest, and that rarity is truly magnetic. It will make you stand out. Step 2 is embodying confident body language. Because before you say a word, your body already speaks. The way you walk into a room before anybody hears you makes them form their first judgment. And you know those people that walk into a room and just capture the attention. Because their body is saying, I belong here. When someone else's body might be saying, I hope no one notices me. You know, shoulder shrug forward, looking down. This is me hiding myself. Whereas shoulders back, standing tall, chest relaxed, without fidgeting shows that you own this room. You're not scared to be here. You're holding eye contact while you're speaking. You can even notice right now, this is drawing your attention to me. This makes my words become more convincing because I stand behind them not just verbally but also physically. And that confidence that speaks more than your words can even speak. There's nuance though, you know. Confidence shouldn't be loud. You know, true confidence signals calmth, you know. It's when the guy doesn't need to prove anything because he knows who he is. And remember, magnetic men take up space without apology, but without arrogance. Then once you've got these 2 steps down, the third one that I know to be very important is using humor intelligently. Because it's like a social superglue. When you make someone laugh, you collapse that distance. Because you say, I see you, and I'm playful. But don't do what I did when I was young, and I wasn't a popular kid, and I didn't know how to demand attention, so I just used my humor. I became a class clown. At every instance, I just made fun of things or myself, and that's my way of, you know, being in the spotlight. But at the end of the day, you're just making a joke out of yourself. You need to find this balance, you know. When talking to women, it's also not about memorizing pickup lines. Because after I was a class clown and I became older, I became interested in women during puberty, and now I didn't know how to do it. So you look into pickup lines, you read those books, you see those YouTube videos of simple pickup back in the day, which they were legendary, but it's not real. Yeah, you might get from A to B, whatever your end zone is that you'd like to get to, but it's not really you, is it? And it's borderline sociopathic to just try to be something that you're not. And these ladies aren't even there for you. At some point, the jig is up. Say you find someone that you want to stay with. Now, you're going to stick to a script your whole life? I mean, so instead, find the line where you show playful presence and stressing that you show your playful presence. So don't take yourself too seriously. Use positive humor. Be playful, self-deprecating, witty, because that signals social intelligence. And research shows that it increases attraction and trust. And negative humor, steer clear of it, Sarcasm, insults, negging, especially negging, it can erode it fast. Now, there's a place for sarcasm. There's a place for, deprecating humor. But it's hard to strike that balance. So initially, just be light, be sharp, and above all, be gentle with your humor. Step 4 is use your emotional intelligence. Make it a point to develop this. Because women are not looking for emotional robots. And leave your logic at bay sometimes. We as men, masculine men, we're logical thinkers, but emotional presence is power. Not just being aware of your own feelings, but also being attuned to hers. And you need social intelligence for this. If she's anxious, you should notice. If something is off, you ask. That way she feels like there's a place for all this, and that place is with you. That kind of attunement that builds trust fast. Studies show that women rank emotional maturity higher even than physical appearance. Because it makes them feel safe. And if they associate that safety with you, then they're drawn to that. And which is a precondition for connection as well. So don't be the guy who tries to impress. Instead, be the guy who understands. Step number 5 is practice active listening. I mean, the amount of times that I've sat in public places and I've seen a date or a couple and they're just on their phone, not paying attention to each other, or one is just waiting to talk, disregarding what's being said. That is the opposite of active listening, and it's quite common. So if you listen actively, you stand out. It's a power move. It says, you matter, I see you. And when she's speaking, learn to not interrupt, Don't look at your phone. Just nod and then respond. There's a place for both of you in this conversation. Lead the dance. Ask a follow-up. Show that you really process the information. And reflect back what she said. People are starved for attention. Be the rare man who gives it generously. And the last step, but not the least, is one you might not expect, but I'd say this one stands above all. And that is, build a mission-driven life. Because I remember back in the day, these dynamics, in terms of importance, they were up here. I really wanted to succeed because not much else mattered in that moment. But as you find your mission, then you start to realize that this isn't the biggest thing for you, and this mission matters more. And above that every person that enters your life must also fit that narrative that you've created, that mission. So your lens adjusts and you start appreciating that this person in front of you must also match you, instead of the other way around where you're just constantly doing everything to match her. That's not how that should work. Because magnetism isn't just how you interact, it's about how you live. And when a man is pursuing something bigger than himself, she can feel that. It radiates. So find a goal, a craft, a vision. That passion is contagious. That drive is sexy. And you don't need to be rich, you don't need to be famous. You just need to be moving, growing, creating. Because women sense that, and they want to be part of that upwards momentum and movement. As one study put it, ambition signals resourcefulness, and a resourceful man is sexy as hell. It shows you're not stagnant. It shows you're going somewhere. That's really attractive. These 6 steps will really elevate your game as it did mine. Trust me, as soon as you get out there and start applying these things, you'll start getting compliments that you can relate back to any of these 6 ways. So get out there, get to it, don't be scared, exposure therapy is the way to go. Romantic magnetism isn't just about tricks or looks. It's about how you carry yourself, your presence, how you treat others, how you live. With these steps, you'll shift your focus outward, and in doing so, you start drawing the right people in. They'll start matching your vision. They'll start being attracted and magnetized to you. If you like this video and you found it helpful, leave a like, subscribe for more, and tell me which step you're going to work on first. See you in the next one.